3DO.
Master Iron Fist, Lieutenant Kalik and Sergeant Piridak reporting.
Proceed.
While dutifully patrolling the beach at Brighton Point as ordered, we detected a large raiding party of 40 elves invading our territory. When the time was right, we attacked.
Oh, how brave.
The enemy fell back before the fury of our attack. We accepted our duty to defend our fair land. We killed at least half a dozen of them before they knew what was happening. The rest ran like pigs from an axe. We gave chase, and I saw with my... What is so amusing, Master?
Nothing. Continue.
Of course. As I was saying, we were chasing the goblins, shooting them in the backs because they would not stand and fight honorably.
Regrettable, but necessary.
Yes, Your Majesty. We had slain nearly all of the goblins when we saw the sea monsters approaching. At first we thought they had come to help the goblins, but it soon became clear their arrival had nothing to do with the fight on the beach. We ran for cover in the rocks. Each was carrying a bag around his waist, and each was wearing a curious amulet that looked like a small black box.
What? Wait a minute. Go back.
You mean the part where I personally slew 2 elves with a single arrow?
No. After that lie. Tell me about the boxes.
They were about 1.5 inches on the side and made of smooth black metal. We couldn't get a closer look.
Those boxes sound like something out of legend. What happened next?
The sea people began to quarrel, when one group turned abruptly and started walking away down the beach. The remaining started walking the other way. In the morning, we found that one of them had shed its skin on the beach. Their tracks had washed away in the tide, so we decided to return to base and report.
Thank you for your report, Lieutenant Kalik. I am pleased to hear something interesting for once. You are promoted to captain. Assemble a search party at once and find those sea people. If you succeed, you can keep the promotion, as well as your life. Oh, and Kalik, one more thing.
Good luck.
Hello and welcome to Might Magic 7 for Blood and Honor. I have been a bit inactive lately, and there's been various reasons for it, but it's completely irrelevant. There's a few loose ends on the channel that I want to sort out. My greatest pain point is also the most challenging one to do, which is Legend. But in order to get something going, and in order to tie out one of the loose ends, I decided to go with Might and Magic 7. Since my last failed attempt, I have been playing through this game, not all the way, but a good chunk of the way, 2 or 3 times to get a feeling for what works and what doesn't. And I've come up with my own setup, and people may agree, people may disagree. Yeah. One thing of note is, because this is an older game, and because of the fact that the resolution it runs at, compared to the program I need to use in order to actually record it, I have disabled recording the mouse pointer, which is likely going to look a bit wonky. But for some reason, the mouse pointer is showing to be in a very different location on the recording than what it is in the game. Moving items about and things like that looks perfectly natural, but the mouse pointer itself is in a very, very different location. So I decided to not record the mouse pointer, and yes, it's going to be a bit wonky, but what can you do? So, the party setup. New game, obviously. The default party it serves you is perfectly acceptable, but I don't want to run with that. I could go into details about this stuff, but I'm just going to show the party together somewhat quickly and then go through any details as we get into the game itself. Come on.
I'm your man.
I want a human, and I want a human paladin, which is a cross between knight and cleric. You have the pure classes, you have the knight, you have the cleric, you have the sorcerer, and then you have the other classes, which is a cross between knight and cleric, knight and druid, knight and sorcerer, whatever. But that's not important. The important thing is we have a paladin. Second character, I've been bouncing between different
Pick me.
classes.
Choose me. Pick me.
Come on.
Hey, oh come on. Take me.
How about me?
I won't let you down.
But I want a monk, because monks are cool. Unarmed fighters, obviously. And not only do you save a bit of money for not having to get equipment for them, but also they can get an awful lot of hit points and they can become quite powerful in melee using no weapons. The third spot, I want another human,
I'm your please.
Don't get me. What could go wrong?
and I want a druid. The downside to having a druid, which is also an upside in its own way, is the fact that you don't get access to the most powerful cleric spells, the Grandmaster level spells. And some of them are very, very powerful, like Resurrection and things like that. But it gives you access to master level elemental spells and cleric spells. And then it also gives you access to Grandmaster in Alchemy. It requires both of the promotions that the class can get, but Grandmaster Alchemy allows mixing of black potions, which can be quite powerful. I don't know whether the power you can gain from black potions justify losing the high level clerical spells, but that is what I've decided to do. And this also is going to be as is. Because I've done this so many times, I've written down the stats I want to give them, but let us start by naming them. Gallagher, because that is my version of Galahad. It's not referred to anything else. Remember to press enter, I will not keep the new name. Monk, because I'm incredibly clever, I'm going to call him Basher, because that's what he's doing. Decent name for a druid, but I'm using fish here, because I can. And the sorcerer is going to be called Silvan. The difference between Might and Magic 6 and Might and Magic 7 is in Might and Magic 6 you could just learn skills and then take them to mastery level. In this game they have increased the rank to Grandmaster in various different skills, but the Grand Mastery is tied to very specific classes. You can see the Paladin here. Mace, he can become a Grandmaster. The expertise being listed in white means that they can learn it, irrelevant of what they do, as long as they have enough points in it, of course. And yellow means that they need to be promoted more than once, maybe twice. It doesn't really show a distinction between the two, which is a minor thing, but it would have been nice if you could tell outright whether you need one or two promotions. But then, of course, you got something like Spirit Magic. As you can see, Expert and Master are yellow. That could indicate that they need one or two promotions, respectively. But the Grandmaster is red. That means that this character can never become Grandmaster in Spirit Magic. Which is, of course, why the Druid is taken for Alchemy, because Druid is the only class that can become a Grandmaster Alchemist. But we need to pick some supportive skills, of course. And if you're trying to save money early on in the game, or in general, picking magic skills and those kind of skills is usually a good idea because they're cheaper. Sorry, they're more expensive to learn when you have to learn them than armor skills and weapon skills. Merchant, this character can only become an expert in it, but getting better selling prices and buying prices can make up quite a bit of money. So I definitely want one character. I want all of them, but I'll get back to that once we get into the game. But from the start, I want him because he can get better sell prices, and his differences are quite extensive, all things considered. The only armor type I want him to use is plate, so I don't want to bother with learning leather. The only weapon I want him to use is mace because that's the only weapon he can become Grandmaster in. So, Vaporism is an option, bodybuilding is an option, Arms Master is an option, but let's go with Shield. And let him be done with that. Monk. Dodging and unarmed, he can become a Grandmaster in those after being promoted. Could give him bodybuilding, which he can become a Grandmaster in as well. Arms Master, which he can become a Master in. But for the purpose of perception, he can only become an expert, but perception basically allows the characters to find hidden treasures, but it also, much more importantly, allows them to have a chance to avoid taking damage from traps. And that is another skill that every character is going to get at a base level, just to have perhaps only a minuscule chance, but a minuscule chance of avoiding damage is better than no chance at all. For the second skill, I could go for Staff, because his Grand Mastery Staff is usable with unarmed skill. Leather, skill added to armor class at mastery level, but of course dodging at Grand Mastery level can be used while wearing leather armor. So, but again, it's one of those skills that you can buy relatively cheap. Bodybuilding or Arms Master? Do you want more hit points, or do I want to be able to do more damage and hit better? Let him get bodybuilding, Anthony. It directly adds to hit points. So, nothing special about that. The Druid. We haven't got a healer at the moment, so body magic, that's the healing spells. Learning. It's another expensive skill to get from the beginning, and it basically awards you more experience. So you can become a master in it. I don't know how many points I'll be putting into it, because it's one of those skills where if you want to put points into it, you want to put points in early, but you also have the other skills that you need to worry about. So, but if you can pick it from the start, picking it from the start is a good idea. Then we have the sorcerer. She starts with fire magic, air magic, and water magic. Has some very, very powerful utility spells. And they are definitely worth learning from the start. So I'm going to take those two. The stats. You can go negative compared to what the game starts you out as. Intellect for something like the Paladin's not particularly needed. You could go down to 9, for instance. But I will only dip him down to 10. I don't like single-digit numbers if I can avoid them. Oh, by the way, I should probably say, you have 50 bonus points down here that you can add to the different character stats spread out across all 4 characters. But he needs to be a bit stronger, so let's give him 15 might. He needs to be a bit more durable, so let's give him 15 endurance. and a bit more accuracy. Might is damage, strength, basically. Intellect is relevant for sorcerers, for spell points. Personality is relevant for clerical casters, for spell points. Endurance is your hit points. Accuracy is your chance to hit. Speed is how quick you react. And luck is a subtle little thing that may or may not kick in at an opportune moment. The monk. Dwarves, as you can see, if you look at the other stats, luck at 9, that's the average, basically. But accuracy and speed are lower than 9, which means that if I want to increase that by 1 point, I will have to pay 2 bonus points for it. But as you can see, endurance and might are higher, so 1 point spent will give me 2 points nose. So he may as well get the full whack of might and endurance. The same applies to elves. You can see might and endurance are at 7. They pay 2 points or 1 point in those, so you would likely assume that getting a bit more endurance for the sorcerer would be a good idea, but casters in this game get very little hit points from endurance. If you get items that gives anything to the character, you're much better off getting raw hit points, because 16 endurance will not give them 16 hit points, will give them 8, I think, something like that. It's not very much. But she doesn't need the accuracy, but she needs the intellect. So pumping that to 30 and then give the rest to the druid. If I can actually read this. The druid, because it's both a clerical even and an elemental caster, will gain spell points from both intellect and personality. Sorry about that, I just forgot that I decided that he's good at hitting stuff, but he's not particularly clever. That explains why I couldn't find the remaining 2 points I want to make use of. This is going to be our party, so likely okay, it will play the introduction kind of thing movie, and hopefully I should be able to squeeze a bit of gameplay into this part, just for content purposes.
Hear ye, hear ye. The Emerald Island scavenger hunt is about to begin. The list of objects has been given to all contestants. As you know, the winners of the contest will be awarded title to Castle Harmony and the surrounding lands. Be careful. Emerald Island can be dangerous. Last night, 3 contestants disappeared, and we are concerned for their safety. During the contest, please be on the lookout for our missing contestants. If you find a piece of equipment in the woods, return at once with the clue. It may save their lives. There have been rumors that some kind of monster is loose on the island and may be hiding in one of the caves. If you see a cave you are unfamiliar with, don't go into it. Send someone back to town, and the guards will conduct a search for you. We don't want anyone else to get hurt. And one more thing. We have... sorry. We have reports that the monster may be a dragon. If you see it, run for your lives.
So doing a time check, we'll have about 6 or 7 minutes worth of gameplay in this part, but it's better than nothing. I will always start each part on the stat screen because it pauses the game and time passes and in the game obviously, and that is related to shop opening times and that kind of stuff. So let's quickly run over the different characters. You can see their stats and then of course their skills. Their inventory is the important part. The skills you select for them, they will get an item related to that skill. So in the case of this, he's got spell magic, so he's got bless, he's got a shield, and he's got a mace. So he should probably equip those things. And learn spirit magic or less even.
When can I use it?
Though every character gets a ring, and they can have stats on them, which is quite valuable, I'd say. Because he's got no armor, he gets some gauntlets and some boots, which is nice of the game, I suppose. Irrelevant of what armor type the characters can use or not, they can always use extra items. You can have super steel gauntlets and super steel boots, it doesn't matter. It's the main armor that's the relevant part for the armor skill. Brass ring unlocked. If you remove one S from brass, it becomes the Danish word brass, which means rubbish, garbage kind of thing. Of course, a potion bottle and a reagent. Hooray! She gets heal and she gets slow, an earth magic skill
A
and
new spell, great.
a body magic skill.
A new spell, great.
Oh yeah, brass ring. Oh well, we'll sell it. Then she can equip the dagger. Hooray! What about our sorcerer friend? Mind resistance, money in the bank. She gets a staff and she gets poison spray, feather fall, and firebolt.
This should be useful. This should be useful. This should be useful.
So, we have this lady, a tour guide, and she offers us a chance to tell her to shut up, which we will do. You can just click here to all. Basically, when you walk past buildings and things like that, she'll tell you what they do. But before we do anything else, there's a chest over here, which is a crate. It's not a chest, but whatever. Contains the money, a horn home, you can get that. The quartz, I really like that the game is letting you know that gems, most gems, not all, but most gems have no practical value, so you can just sell it. Sell them. And many another game run around with 2,000 gems in your inventory and don't know whether they are needed for crafting or anything like that, but this game is very good at letting you know. You can just ignore it. The main quest for this particular area is the hunt for items, but we should go and speak to Lord Markham.
His Grace, Lord Markham, Duke of the Western Lowlands.
I'm Lord Markham, the benefactor of providing the castle that is the prize of this contest. If you win, you'll be in charge of one of the most scenic areas in all of Evrastia. Hammondale is just outside of the Telerian forest, right on the edge of the elf-human border, and I'm sure you'll love the castle. It's a bit of a fixer-upper, but it's quite roomy and has excellent ventilation. That is a different way of saying it's got holes in the roof. Oh. It breaks my heart to part with this property, but I feel that the time has come for me to give something back to the people. Okay. Isn't this hunt exciting? I really am grateful you came to my little event, and I hope you have fun, even if you don't win. For reference, you cannot progress the game without winning, so that's not relevant. I think it's great that everyone is competing in a spirit of good sportsmanship and camaraderie. Yeah, right, whatever. But the important thing is missing contestants. Keep in mind I have a 1,000 gold reward for the group to bring back information on the contestants that have disappeared. Yeah. Thomas the Judge. Greetings, my name is Thomas, I'm the judge of the contest. Rules of the hunt. My duty is to verify that you have all the items necessary to win the contest. You are required to bring a red potion, a longbow, a floor tile from the Temple of the Moon, a wealthy hat, seashell, and an instrument. You can bring them in any order, just show them to me one at a time so I may verify them. What do you have? I'm sorry, but nothing you have is necessary for the hunt. I don't mean to belittle what you have, but I'm not looking for any of it. Oh. And then, of course, we have also notes. It gives us the quest of what we need to get. Now, the game has various different rules, and I would like to see if this one is blocked. I'm fairly sure this one should give it luck, but it doesn't. I've tried 4 different games now, and it's not giving luck. It should give luck, if I'm not mistaken. But before we end this part, let's go into the vendor doohickey thing. We don't have anything we want to vendor outside of... The vendor to Hickey thing for magic items is up here. Up. Magic shop. And I just want to quickly show the difference between one skill in merchant and 0 skill in merchant. So,
Can I help you with anything?
display inventory. If we take one of these things and let's see. Right. Last ring of mine resistance, give it to him who hasn't got. And then hover over and say sell. 85 gold. Okay, and then we hand it back to the paladin. Sell. 109. So, a difference of 22 gold pieces, 24 gold pieces if I could actually calculate, just by 1 point. Merchant skill is quite useful to have, indeed. So that gives us 971 gold that we can do very little with at the moment. But what we can do is we can find out what happened to the missing contestants. But that needs a bit of help. To do the blah blah blah, we will do that next time. So when we come back, we are going to look for some missing contestants. They didn't find the dragon. No, not at all. No. Oh, no. They weren't too nosy and found the dragon. No, not at all. Didn't happen. Yes, it did happen, and we are going to find evidence of such. But that will be in the next part. So as for now, thanks for watching. Take care, and see you then. Bye bye.